Hello and welcome. As a specialist in hotel performance, I'm honored to welcome all students of Europe Hotel School to your online learning journey. Today, we're going to go beyond just talking about skills. We're actually going to build the framework for a truly successful career. Think of it as decoding the operating system of the absolute best in our industry.
All right, let's dive right into a big secret of our trade. It's easy to think that top performers just run on this endless supply of motivation. But the truth is, motivation is kind of like a roller coaster. It goes up, it comes down, it's just not reliable. Habits, though, habits are different. They're your foundation. They're the consistent, reliable engine that carries you forward, especially on those days when you're just not feeling it.
And that's really the crucial takeaway here. Excellence isn't about one single heroic moment. Nope. It's built from tiny, consistent actions that compound day after day. So let's start thinking of these habits as your professional operating system. It's the code that runs in the background, guiding you toward peak performance, almost automatically.
So where do we start building this new operating system? Well, it all begins the second you walk in for your shift. We're going to look at the first set of habits, your proactive foundations. These are what put you in control of your day, instead of letting the day control you. Now, this is so much more than a checklist. This is a ritual for success. First thing, get your systems fired up. Your digital tools are your best friends. Second, arrange your physical space. You've heard it before, a clear desk really does lead to a clear mind. And third, and this is key, know your guests. Reviewing those key arrivals and VIPs isn't just about memorizing names, it's about anticipating their needs before they even arrive. These 3 steps set the entire tone for your day. And here's what happens if you don't do that. You're basically sending an open invitation for chaos to join you at the front desk. You'll spend the whole shift just putting out fires, reacting to one problem after another, constantly playing catch-up. And that's not just stressful for you. It directly impacts the quality of service your guests are getting. Right alongside that proactive start is the habit of prioritization. Look, not every task is created equal, right? The real skill is wisely choosing what needs your attention first, especially when the lobby's buzzing and phones are ringing. When you make this an automatic habit, your efficiency just skyrockets. It almost feels effortless. Okay, so we've got our foundation set. Now let's talk about growth. The next set of habits we're going to cover are the engine. They're what will fuel your constant improvement, making sure you don't just meet the standards, but you're always raising them. It all kicks off with a simple habit of mind, being curious. You see, a true professional doesn't just follow the procedure. They're constantly looking for ways to refine it. They're always asking themselves these quiet little questions like, is there a faster, more efficient way to handle this check-in? And that question immediately leads to the next one. Can this step be simplified? Where's the extra click, the redundant question I don't need to ask? I mean, think about it. If you shave just 10 seconds off a single task, but you repeat that task hundreds of times a week, well, you're saving a massive amount of time. And this curiosity, it extends to our most important asset, our guests. You start asking, is there a warmer way to say this? A clearer way? A more polite phrasing? This constant internal drive to get better is what separates standard service from a truly 5-star memorable experience, because curiosity is what drives growth. Which brings us to the bedrock of amazing service, clear communication. Just think about these 3 simple but powerful habits. Always speaking calmly, especially when you're under pressure. Always verbally confirming key details, like a room number or a wake-up call. And always repeating important instructions clearly. These small habits are your absolute best defense against mistakes. They save time and build so much guest confidence. And that leads us to our final, and maybe the most critical habit of them all. This is the one that ties everything else together. It creates a never-ending cycle of improvement. I'm talking about the habit of reflection. Let's first look at what happens when you skip this step. Professionals who don't take the time to reflect are, frankly, destined to repeat the same mistakes over and over again. They might be working hard, but they're not actually learning from their own experiences. They're just stuck on a treadmill, and their career growth totally flatlines. But on the other hand, the ones who make reflection a real habit, they are constantly improving. At the end of a shift or after a really tough interaction with a guest, they just take a second to ask themselves, okay, what went well there and what could I do even better next time? That simple act closes the loop. It turns every single experience, good or bad, into a priceless lesson. So this is the main point I want you to walk away with. None of these habits on their own are earth-shattering, But when you practice them consistently, day in and day out, their power just compounds. They all weave together, and they create that operating system for excellence that turns good staff into the outstanding professionals that will lead the future of hospitality. So, I'll leave you with this question. Don't try to change everything all at once. That's just a recipe for burnout. Instead, as you move forward, I want you to think about this. What is the one small habit you're going to start building tomorrow? Just pick one and start there.